Government corruption has never been more prevalent or caused more harm. It's why extremism is on the rise. It's why the financial gap between the haves and have-nots has never been wider. And it's why our planet is at risk of an extinction level tragedy. That's why I need your help to keep exposing the truth about the rot on both sides of the aisle. Become a supporter or a friend of the show today by clicking on the coffee link in the description box below. Friends of the show join me on a Zoom hangout once a month, and you guys can ask me any questions you want, and I can get to know you better. But the most important reason to help is to keep the show alive. Together, we can and will save our country and our planet. Thanks in advance and enjoy the show. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Plants and Politics. I have a few updates to share about Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for a special episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So before I dive into these updates, I wanted to remind everyone the January 6th Select Committee hearings are going to start. The televised hearings are going to start this Thursday, the 9th. The first one will be in the evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, I will be watching every single one. I will be taking copious notes. So if you cannot catch the whole thing for some reason, just check in on Plants and Politics. I'll have all the cliff notes for you, all the highlights and most important facts that come out. So I want to dive into these updates, though. First up is the big news that broke late yesterday about former Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio, also several other Proud Bigot members. They've all been charged with seditious conspiracy. A superseding indictment was filed this week, and it named Tarrio, Dominic Pizzola, Joe Biggs, Ethan Nordine, and Zachary Rell as co-conspirators in a conspiracy to, quote, oppose the lawful transfer of presidential power by force. So this is, of course, the second far-right extremist group to be charged with seditious conspiracy. As you guys likely know very well, the leader and members of the Oath Keepers were also recently charged with the same felony crime. And another extremist group might be next. I say that because there was a recent report which revealed that Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes was in direct contact with the 3%ers in the days leading up to the Capitol attack. So there was a self-identified 3%er member, Derek Kinnison. I've profiled him in a video short back when he was arrested. He is also a member of the Oath Keepers. So he claims to be a 3%er, but he's also an Oath Keepers member. And Rhodes had added Kinnison to a group chat on Signal, encrypted messaging app. And in this Signal group, Rhodes referred to Kinnison as a, quote, California Oath Keeper who is in with a 4-man team. Now, that 4-man team is comprised of Kinnison and then his current co-defendants, Eric Warner, Felipe Martinez, who also goes by Tony Martinez, and Ronald Meale or Melee. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's M-E-L-E. All 4 of these men are from California. They're currently charged with a whole list of misdemeanor crimes and felonies, including conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. So they're already facing some potentially very steep penalties. And the group of citizen investigators, they're known as the sedition hunters, they pointed out that the Oath Keepers and Kinnison were using the same radio channel for their communications on January 6th. They also found January 6 photos of Kinnison, and he was wearing a hat with an Oath Keepers patch on the back of it. NBC News says that they had been reaching out to Kinnison's attorney for comment on various items, and then the attorney stopped responding when they started bringing up questions about his ties to the Oath Keepers. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, though. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see what goes down. But the last related update I wanted to share is about another Proud Boy. Last week, Proud Boy member Joshua Pruitt pleaded guilty to obstructing an official proceeding. That felony comes with up to 20 years in prison, although Based on the federal sentencing guidelines, the prosecutors are saying that they're considering somewhere between 51 to 63 months. At a hearing in January of this year, Pruitt told the judge, quote, "I regret going inside. I was disgusted with what I saw." Really? Really? Because Pruitt himself was seen on surveillance video throwing a sign across a Capitol atrium. In another video, he was seen throwing a chair across the room. He was also seen confronting officers with the whole mob of people. He was in part of that group that first broke through police lines inside the Capitol and that were totally out of control. And even after his arrest, he had no remorse. Pruitt posted online after his arrest, but before his plea agreement, and he wrote, quote, "Do I regret Jan 6? Not even a little, 4 exclamation points. Patriots rise, 4 exclamation points." The sad thing is, this guy had a really rough start in life. Someone did a very long profile on him. She followed him around for a long time and really did a deep dive. She was a psychologist, I believe. And I actually feel for him. I get this guy is one of those typical people. He just wants to be a part of a family. He wants to feel like a part of something. But as I always say, everybody's got their shit. And he's made all the wrong choices to try to deal with his trauma and his pain. Most of us do, at least for a certain amount of time in our lives. We make bad decisions, make bad choices. But at some point, you grow up and you realize that the problem isn't everyone else. The problem isn't everything else. The problem isn't the world. The problem is staring us in the mirror. And then we grow up and we get our shit together. So hopefully he figures that out someday, that everybody's got something, everybody's got burdens, everybody's got trauma. It's how you deal with that trauma that determines your life path and whether or not you're going to leave a positive or a negative mark in the world. So hopefully he figures that out and he extricates himself from the likes of the proud bigots. Anyway, guys, when and if I hear more, I will let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.